wanted to try the one wheel, but I don't know if you guys have researched the one wheel at all. That mofo is expensive. You know, we bought a hoverboard for the kids and, you know, for us to play on and stuff, but the thing, we got one on a deal for like $100. I know that there's two different versions. One's under $1,000 for sure, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you got to be in a certain demographic for one wheel to be applicable to you, and we're definitely in that demographic here in Granite Bay, California, which isn't too far from Rockland, California, which is another one of those places where you will see one wheels because of the affluence. Is that a word that applies to this situation, to the affluent community here? Oh, the sun has set here on another beautiful day here in Northern California. Out here on the Sportster, this is the 1200 converted from the 883R. Just having a blast. You know, I forgot how much I missed cruisers. I love my Super Duke. My Super Duke has a pretty reasonably comfortable riding position, and so, you know, you don't get that like that tucked in and leaned forward feeling that you do on some sport naked bikes. And the other thing that I love about this bike that I didn't have with my 883R is the 1200, is the conversion. And you know, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. I didn't think it was going to make that big of a difference going from riding the 1200, the Iron 1200, and the 48 Special, test riding those bikes, just kind of like trying to remember what the 883 felt like, and then riding those bikes, I just remember not feeling like, you know, this isn't that much more. It's not much more power, it didn't feel like, and it still kind of felt like 5 gears wasn't going to cut it, is the wrong term or phrase that I'm looking for, but it just felt like 5 gears was going to get old fast. That my 883 worked so hard when we were on the freeway. I always felt like it was just like screaming at me like, whoa, this is too fast for this bike, when I'd hit 80 or something. And you know, we hit 80 on this bike easily, and we can hit it in 4th gear and it still doesn't scream at me like I need to stop. And so having those extra cc's, you know, and whatever that conversion from the 883 to this 1200 did, it is amazing, and I love every inch of this bike, and just the power that comes along with it, and it does make a huge difference. So if you're curious, if you wanted to convert your 883R or your 883, whatever it might be, and use that kit to turn it into a 1200, I highly recommend it. You know, it's not a cheap thing to do, and I bought this bike this way, so again, I think I got a steal on this bike. And then on top of that, it's not just an 883, it's a 1200. So I kind of felt like just best case scenario all the way around when I bought this bike. And so again, maybe you have the option to buy a 1200 converted old Sportster that used to be an 883, and you're wondering, is it going to make that big of a difference? To me, yes, I think it absolutely does make a difference. So that's my 2 cents. Obviously, it's no sport bike. It definitely is sportier than it was. But after riding the Super Duke, this doesn't really compare in that way. But this is a cruiser, and it's meant to ride a certain way. It's meant to feel a certain way. It still feels like a cruiser, but at the same time, you know, it's got a better lean angle than you'd get on the big soft tails or the touring bikes, and it's still relatively comfortable. And I just love this bike. I loved it when I had it before, when it was an 883. I love the 1200, and you know, this is just, I've just been loving owning this bike again. So if you've got one of these bikes, if you've got a Sportster and you love it, make sure you leave it in the comments. You know, Sportsters, I think are not necessarily underrated, but they're definitely underloved, and they're mocked. I wouldn't say tirelessly, but they're mocked constantly by Harley riders and non-Harley riders alike. But you know, you guys can suck it. That's my favorite phrase for people who want to bag on Sportsters, because I just love Sportsters. I think they're great for what they are. They're great starter bikes. They're great fun bikes to zip around on. And one day, hopefully, this will be a great bike for my wife to learn how to ride a bike on. Well, obviously she'll take her motorcycle safety course and learn all the basics in that way. But then she can hop on this thing and start her motorcycle adventure. So guys, what are your thoughts on the Sportster? If you don't ride one, I'd love to get your thoughts as well. How do you guys feel about the love or the lack of love that they get? Leave those things in the comments. Also, if you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up down there, which is the like button. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Guys, if you are out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I'm that one guy, and I am